Good afternoon. This is Ed Morales, Chief Marketing Innovation Officer for the Pinnacle Group. Excited to be with you again this afternoon. Very excited about our guest, my colleague and friend. It's Morgan Christiansen, who is a VP of Distribution and also oversees our field distribution specifically for annuities. Morgan, it's good to see you, my friend. Welcome.
Ed, thanks for having me, and good to see you as well.
Yeah, I love the background. It looks pretty good there in sunny Florida. I've got a little bit of it, but I think you're getting more sun than I am. So it's good to see you there. So, Maureen, listen, today we're just going to have conversation around annuities, and kind of starting off with that is, certainly as you are kind of leading that for the Pinnacle Group and engaging with thousands of advisors and institutions, every year. We thought that your perspective or understanding of what you're seeing specifically in the landscape of annuities and some market trends that are happening, we'd like to kind of hear from you. What are your thoughts? What are some of the current trends that you're seeing, and specifically as it relates to, in totality, as we look at annuity distribution, what are some of the trends you're seeing right now?
Well, I think, Ed, and I appreciate the question. I really see it in two fronts from where I'm, looking at and seeing some unique advantages, not only to the end consumer in the sense of some of the products and different things available to them, but just natural environment that we're in. One being the rate environment, right, where rates have risen. This has created added benefits into how these contracts are being built and priced. And, frankly, with the higher interest rate environment, most clients are seeing potentially better returns, right? I mean, you look at a fixed annuity product and they can get 4.5% to 5.5% yield. That didn't exist 3 years ago. So just from a natural trend where rates are, it's created some, I'd say, more advantageous options than what you saw in the past. But I would say overall, the world of annuities has evolved quite a bit. And you go back to, the times of annuitization and long surrender charges and such. And the marketplace has really driven more to consumer-friendly options, right? You're looking at shorter term or no surrender type annuity contracts. Certain ones that give the ability for clients to walk away, right? There's been a lot of negative commentary over the years around these types of products, and I think the marketplace has responded well by really creating answers to those questions of what about my money being locked up forever? What if I don't want to annuitize and I want to have control of my asset? Those certain things. And I think that's really created a unique opportunity for us, supporting our financial advisors and helping build financial plans. Using this vehicle can really be an additive element to diversify, whether it's the risk category, whether it's the income planning that we need to do. So really, the twofold here, we're having a tremendous amount of conversations and a lot of really interesting conversations at that because of the kind of quasi we're in, right? The interest rate environment has propelled the products, and the marketplace has done a great job of making these better for consumers. Therefore, advisors are looking at them more than historically may have looked at.
I love what you're saying there, Morgan. I think certainly interest rates has had, as I'm gathering from what you're saying, a tremendous kind of influx and change as it relates to the overall market. That's one, and then secondly, you're talking about specifically the how the industry and or carriers and what they're developing is adopting new philosophies that is meeting the needs of clients and customers. Can you talk a little bit about what you see from a leadership perspective that Pinnacle is doing and Pinnacle Annuity specifically, to kind of adapt these new product offerings and solutions to provide to advisors and so forth? Talk a little bit about that, how you're adapting to that as a leader.
Yeah, it's something where our philosophy as an organization has always been, what's the best overall plan for the client, right? I think that's the beautiful thing that we can provide to the advisors that we support, is that it's not just a one or two product outfit. I mean, we have hundreds of products, hundreds of carriers. So there's a lot that we can do, truly creating kind of that best interest component when you're shopping the insurance and annuity marketplace, right? So creating transparency, I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of times these annuities are misled, they're missold. I always say that the term, the sizzle is being sold, but not the steak, right? I can make a steak smell really, really good, But if it's an untenderized skirt steak that was pulled out of the fridge a couple hours ago and it's just thrown on the grill and off, it's probably not going to be as tender as your filet mignon that's sitting in the Wagyu A5 status, right?
Right.
So it's one where we really want to create transparency in the marketplace, and we do that through various partners, our carrier partners. We lean on them. And really, work with tools and resources that allow us to pull, whether it's existing contracts, new contracts, really refining what we're trying to accomplish for the client and create that transparency and education, right? So the client knows what they're buying at the end of the day. They know what the outcome's going to be, because if you look at the negativity around annuities and the word annuity, and why either advisors don't use them or clients are apprehensive, it's because they don't understand them. And I think that's something that Pinnacle's doing a great job at, is creating clarity and transparency to a space that not many people fully understand.
Mm. So interesting. A lot of change that's happening with that, and really awareness. I'm hearing that education is part of what you're emphasizing here. Kind of the other thing is happening with all this volatility and interest rate changes. There's a lot of movement. So I'm just curious, are you seeing any emerging distribution opportunities or markets? Are you seeing that specifically with institutions and financial advisors? Are you seeing that there is emerging opportunities as it relates to the annuity distribution and its in general?
Certainly. Yeah, I would 100% agree that there is a very unique opportunity, and it's a growing one. I think it's the combination of what we're seeing with the rates, some of the new product construction, and really just a lot of clients are not looking to keep all their eggs in one basket. I think when you look at 2022 and the first time in history, both the equity markets and fixed income markets saw a negative 10% decline. You need areas where you can kind of diversify. And these annuities are being a part of it. I mean, I'm talking to advisors on a daily basis who, frankly, would tell you, "Hey, I never used annuities before, and now I'm using them truly as a zero loss, protection vehicle,
Mm.
right? Something that I can get my clients guaranteed yield or some sort of participation in the market, but have no downside exposure." And I think that's here to stay. I think, when you're looking at the best interest model, and as much as there is some negativity around it, and it's more work that has to be done, I think it's forcing advisors to look at the standard practice of 1995 is going to be different than what the standard practice is going to be when we look at 2025, right? And there's going to be different tools and resources and products that have to be done. And I think this environment and how you can use an annuity not just only as an income piece where it was in 1995, but actually as a true diversified component of the portfolio that is liquid after a couple years, and you can plug and play and use different options, kind of like you would on the fixed income side, is going to be here for the long haul. So I think that creates some unique opportunity.
So a lot of moving parts there, Morgan, as I'm hearing you speak to that. Can you maybe share a little bit? How do you, with that landscape and variations of products, needs for education, needs for solutions, it looks like that certainly a lot of financial advisors who are not considering this as a viable option or consideration for clients that they are. Can you talk a little bit about how you're collaborating with financial advisors? What does that experience look like? How do you do that? What do you do?
Yeah, so we typically schedule 20, 30-minute consultation, kind of explaining really actually the questions are for them, learning their business, their practice, what are the tools, resources, kind of philosophy they have, and how they work with their clients. As much as the financial advisor name is very generic, every advisor has a different twist to it and how they support their clients and what makes them unique in the marketplace. So we really want to channel what they're doing and then how we can complement them with whether it is education or it's looking at a practice they bought and how to further analyze some of the assets they have on the books. Whether it's looking at, okay, looking ahead, I have this 60-40 construction of a portfolio. Maybe I need to go 50-25-25 or 60-20-20. What are other resources we could use that could be that component of the risk factor to kind of help mitigate some of the volatility in the marketplace and the portfolio they're seeing? So it really is, there's no magic answer there, Ed, in terms of like what we're doing. It really is a concierge type of approach where it can be very different depending on the advisor, their practice, what they're used to doing, what they're not used to doing.
Mm. So when you think about that experience in itself, I mean, it's always like, you see, well, here's what the Pinnacle Group, does or doesn't do. Can you talk a little bit about what you see that differentiates Pinnacle Annuities and what you have built and what you're driving here from our competitors or from general annuity distribution? What makes the Pinnacle Group different in this regard, or maybe not? Maybe there is. I'm curious to hear that.
Yeah, I think what makes us different is driving force here of creating education in this marketplace and creating transparency. I think for most of us at Pinnacle, we're fiduciaries at our core, whether the licenses that we carry or just a pure fact that we've supported this, independent advisor and financial advisor marketplace, for going on almost 2 decades. It makes it where we have no choice. For us to do good to our clients, what we show you today has to be still relevant and there in a year from now, right? As advisors going on and doing their reviews and such. And taking that and building an organization where historically the marketplace that does what we do is a hammer looking for a nail, give me the transaction, and then call me again in 2 years when you have another one. Really trying to refine the fact that what we're presenting and what's being used is going to be there year in and year out, based on what the client's goals and objectives are. So I'd say that's the biggest piece, right? We're not going in and just selling the sizzle. I want to understand what we're trying to accomplish. And that starts with me and every member of my team. It's a plan first, product second approach. And most of the industry is backwards.
Interesting. And certainly from that perspective, it's very relational. It sounds like that you and yourself, the team, you're working towards developing relationships, understanding what the needs of the advisors are, and that couples with understanding from their perspective how they approach their clients and what their clients need. So it looks like it's actually it's really kind of like a trifecta. It's we're working with the advisor, they're working with the clients, and that triage there is actually making it work with that. So
yeah, and I would say, Ed, it really is a strategic partnership, right? And I think the word partnership's used frequently, but I don't think it's implemented frequently. And I think at Pinnacle we do a great job here from across all items in our organization and spectrums in our organization, right? It's creating that partnership and really becoming that resource. And it may not be driving a transaction every single time. It's using not only the tools, resources, and carrier knowledge we have, but the driving intellectual capital behind us that helps us do what we do at a very high level.
So, from a support perspective, when you think of financial advisors, some are registered reps, some obviously affiliated with RIAs. So, what do you does the Pinnacle Group provide support in that regard to different variations of where advisors are and from registrations and so forth? What is it? Maybe answer that question. Are we able to do that for all different types of advisors?
We certainly can. And I think that's where, as an organization, we've taken the approach to diversify our offerings and be able to support an advisor no matter where they are in the business in terms of they're an RIA, if they're within a registered status within a broker dealer. We have options that we can kind of, support and provide them with. But I think when you look at it from the simple headache items, such as like having to do paperwork and licensing and product training, all the things that come with the heavy lift of sometimes writing these cases, our team is here to help and handhold along the way, to the complexities of the design and what we're doing and how we're using it and what we're truly trying to accomplish for the client. To even getting on the phone with the client and saying, look, here's what we know and here's what we do well. You, Mr. or Mrs. Advisor, are really good at the whole financial plan and everything, and we're one of your resource partners to be able to make sure there's objectivity around the decision your client's going to make, whether they choose to use an insurance tool or not within their portfolio. So it's quite a lot that we can do. Advisors, kind of use it kind of at an a la carte. So some may use the whole suite, and some just say, look, I just need your help from a design and paperwork stance. For us, it doesn't matter. I think it comes with us understanding your business, and then we can align the resources from there.
So meeting advisors where they need to be met and based what their needs are with their clients. You provide a holistic solution uh, regardless of what their registration would be. They're all going to be different and so forth. Morgan, that is super helpful. I know we're going to have further conversations as the landscape of annuities continues to change. The offering, you've talked about market volatility, you've talked about interest rates. So there's a kind of a lot to uncover here. But for today, I want to thank you. I appreciate you spending some time with us today, and we look forward to future conversations. Thank you, Morgan.
And thanks for having me.